Prayer Warriors, good morning. Today, the topic that I would touch on is raising fine young men and dealing with mental health and our children. It's very important, guys. It's not even a joke. It's important. So today, let's take a minute and let's talk about it. Let's go through different aspects of raising our children and dealing with their mental health. Very important. So, two reasons that I started this video, that I decided on this topic. The first reason is I know through experience with my own kids how hard it is. And I'll touch on that later. But the second reason is this young man that committed suicide weeks before he actually went on to college to start his football career with them and get his education. He committed suicide. And I am so heartbroken. And I know that, you could tell a parent, I know what you're going through, I know what you're feeling. No, you don't. I mean, even though I know that it's hard because I don't know how I would survive if one of my children was to pass away, but the fact of the matter is my kids are still alive. And her son is not. And the reason for the suicide is what is killing me. It's hurting me. It's hard. He got a full ride to Georgia Tech. Full ride. He's talented. He has a lot of talent in football. He's smart. He was recognized as one of the smartest kids in Deerfield Beach. So really smart child. And I'm sure a well-spoken kid, well-behaved child. I'm sure he was a good kid. But he was going through a lot financially. And financials carry out emotionals. And emotionals carry out mentals. And from my understanding, with listening to the mom's video and reading about his whole life story and with everything, I have a feeling he just felt bad, going to college and leaving his family behind, homeless. Now, they're young and they're not thinking the way they should. But in reality, he was going there to do great things and to eventually help his mom, help his family, his younger brothers, his younger sisters. I don't know if he had any. But unfortunately, it was too much. And he just decided to let go. Now, it's heartbreaking for a mother to have gone through all of that and to lose your child because he couldn't keep up with the pressure. And the mom, she did ask for help. And this is my problem with the world. This is my problem with America. This is my problem with people and the kids that we're raising, what we're teaching them, the bullying, the conception, the perception, that they have of certain things. And the fact that the other group that is not so wealthy and that is not doing so well financially has to lie, put up a face just to make it through the day. But it's a hard burden to carry. With that being said, I'm going to give you one of my examples. One of the situations that I went through with my son just recently. And this is why I think it's very important that we talk to our kids and that we support them emotionally and mentally. And I know financially it's hard because I'm going through financials, and I'm trying to make it day by day, and there's no formula to make it, but my son, my middle son, got his final grades from his first semester of college. And I'm looking at the grades and I went off. I was so pissed, because my thing is, if you don't keep your grades, how am I going to pay for college? How are you going to keep your scholarships? I went off, I cursed, I was mad, I told him, you and I were done, because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. You're very ungrateful. You're very this and you're very that. And have you been grateful, you would have done this and you would have done that. And I went off. But he was trying to talk to me and he was trying to tell me things and he was trying to explain, and I wasn't listening. I was not, because I was mad, because my focus is, my train of thought is, I don't want you to have the life that I had. There are days where we wake up and literally we're trying to find $1 to buy a loaf of bread. And here you are not doing your best. I don't want you living that life when you grow up. I want you to do good. And he was trying to talk to me. And when I calmed down, like days and days later, and he was like, Mom, you just don't understand. I am stressed. I have a lot of stress. I have to perform well in soccer, because that's a potential scholarship. I have to perform well in school, because that's another potential scholarship. But we have a lot of stress. I have a lot of stress. Do you know how I feel when I know that you're doing everything you can, you're giving me everything you can, but we're suffering for other things? Like, okay, we go to soccer, we have this and we have that, but I don't know how we're gonna eat in school. Half the times we don't have the money. Half the time we have to do an emergency lunch. It's hard to pretend like we're okay. And he was like, and then we have immigration on top of it. I don't know what's going to happen to you. Are you still going to be there with us? I don't know what we're going to do, and we're stressed. And I'm sorry if I'm not the child that you want me to be, but sometimes I just can't take it. And it hit me. It hurt me to realize that I'm pressuring my son for things that, yes, are important, but in reality are not that important, because it's already affecting his mental. So with all that being said, let me just touch base on what the important things in life are. It's family. It's your happiness. It's your peace of mind. It's seeing your kids thriving, but healthily, like healthy. It's seeing your kids succeed, but being healthy emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically. That's important. Being there for your kids, for your family, for yourself, taking care of you, and then taking care of everyone around you. That's important. And it's hard to gauge. It's hard to balance. When do I make this more important? When do I put it on the back burner? When do I step in? It's hard, because talking about your kids' happiness, it's also giving them what makes them happy. And it's putting them in that situation where they're comfortable. That's important. And it's hard to do the right thing all the time. So I think that it's something that in another video I'll eventually post how I was able to handle it and balance it all out. Because my youngest is 17 now, and I thought I was, I made it to a good point, but I guess not. So the other thing is to listen to your kids. Listen to their words. Listen to the way they talk to you. Watch how they act. Are they changing? Are their behaviors changing? Are they more in their rooms? Are they more quiet? Or are they more verbal? Are they more violent? Do they look scared to you? Do they look comfortable? Are they happy? And these are all things that you have to learn to know your kids so that you can kind of spot the difference. Because what I've realized is kids are really good at hiding their feelings and their emotions. The other thing is be present. Be available for your kids. Be there. Don't just, work hard and provide them with an iPhone or an Xbox or an AirPod or little things like that. Don't work hard to give them things that they can do without. And I know it's hard when all their friends have this and they're the only ones, and there's that bullying aspect of it. But at the end of the day, your presence is important. So be present. My husband and I, we've always managed one of us to be at home. So I would work in the morning and my husband would work at night. So he would do the drop off and the pickup from school, and I would do the taking to soccer and doing homeworks. And we try to be home together on weekends. So we try to be present for our kids. It's not easy. I know it's not easy. But try. It's like sometimes what I used to do when we really didn't have the time, when we just moved here, we would make it a point like once a month to have an activity together, to go out together, go out to a restaurant or somewhere that they really liked. And the fact that they played soccer, we were always there with their games, either me or my husband. So we were lucky in that sense, because I know it's not easy, guys. I know, but it's important to be present for your children. The other thing is, I would say, accept them for who they are. Accept them for what they are. Like I said, it's like, for example, I know that my oldest child, I never understood that, he wanted to be a rapper. I never got it, but I got to listen to his songs and got to see his passion for it, and he's good at it. So as much as it took me a while to accept that that's what he wanted to do, it was time wasted between him and I. He's good at what he does, and I just decided to support him, and our relationship is better. My middle child he's always in the clouds. He spaces out a lot, and I've learned to accept that because I know why. He's a very loving child. He's a very caring child, and he wants everyone to be happy and to be, happy. So he spaces out a lot when things don't work out or when things are not going so great. So I've learned to accept that. My youngest child is not a very affectionate child, but he's an amazing kid. He's good at helping out, and he is a little bit more blunt. He would tell you the things the way he sees them and how they are. And I know that it's not necessarily a good thing, because people take People get so offended so easily nowadays that I'm afraid that one day he'll say something that'll get him in trouble. But my job is to explain to him that he has to subdue what he says a little bit. He has to slow down and think about the effect of what he's saying on other people. But I've accepted that's the way he is. And I'm helping him to approach what he says, differently. And last but not least, in my opinion, the most important thing in any kid's life, any teenager, or anyone for that matter, is prayer. And I've grew up, my mother raised me with praying all the time and going to church, and I've raised my kids the same. They've gone to religious schools all their lives, and we've prayed. But prayer has taken us in sticky situations a lot. And the fact that my kids know that, I can't talk to my mom, but I'll take a minute and I'll pray to God just to give me the strength and to help me move forward, I think has helped them cope with certain things. It's a system that you can't just shove on someone. It has to be a system that they grow up with and they were raised with. But it can always be taught. It can always be instilled in someone, so to say. And I think that it's something that everyone should consider, is to rely on the Lord and rely on praying. So with that being said, let me just remind you of, in my opinion, and I mean, by all means, if you have other things that you think are important, help me out and drop them down below in the comments. But let me just remind you for personally what is important to me as far as raising fine young men and dealing with their mental health. It's to listen to them, listen to your kids, be present for your kids, accept them for who they are, and pray for them and with them. And hopefully, if we all are able to step by step, gradually implement these things in our lives, hopefully we'll be able to raise a new generation of kids. So my last thought goes to Bryce's mother. I don't know what you're going through because I'm not with you and I'm not feeling it with you. But I do know one thing. It hurts. It's hard. And I'm so sorry that you have to go through this. I hope that you find peace in God, find peace in the Lord, that He helps you through this. And I hope that Bryce's story and your pain and his pain will open doors to discussions in the Black community, and our Black young men, our Black young daughters, young girls that are going through discrimination and financials and so much. I just hope that his story is not forgotten and that we can all learn from him and from you. So I pray for you, and I don't know what else to tell you. I'm so sorry. And let me leave you with this Bible verse. It's Colossians 3 verse 21, who says, "Fathers, do not embitter your children, or they will become discouraged." So it backs up the accept them for who they are, be present for them, listen to them. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for being part of my community. It's a community to help bring each other up, help raise our children the best that we can. While I am Black and I'm rallying for Black families, all races are welcome because we all have one goal, is to raise good citizens, good individuals with good heart, with a helping heart. And this is what I'm all about. So if you like this video, if you like the topic today, please share my video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. That way, whenever I post a video, you know about it. Comment. That way I have more topics to discuss, and we can create roundtables, virtual roundtables. This is one of my goals. I don't know how I'm going to be able to pull this up, but we can have discussions, create groups on how to raise better children. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful